reporting. President Trump discussed his Gaza takeover plan with the visiting King of White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
At the start of an Oval Office meeting, the president said there's nothing preventing the U.S. from controlling Gaza.
We're going to have Gaza. We don't have to buy. There's nothing to buy.
He also expressed confidence that Arab nations would agree to accept Palestinian refugees.
I believe we'll have a parcel of land in Jordan. I believe we'll have a parcel of land in Egypt.
King Abdullah did not commit to the plan, but said Jordan would take in 2,000 sick children from Gaza. Greg Clugston, Washington.
In a New York State courtroom today, author Salman Rushdie testifies about the stabbing attack against him.
Salman Rushdie told jurors in graphic detail about being stabbed repeatedly by a man who rushed on stage when the author was in Western New York in 2022. Rushdie said he thought he was dying. 27-year-old Hadi Matar pleaded not guilty to attempted murder, the attack caught on video. On cross-exam, Matar's public defender asked Rushdie if he could remember how many times he was struck. Rushdie answered, "I wasn't counting. I was otherwise occupied, but afterward I could see them on my body." Investigators have said the motive had to do with a fatwa against the Satanic Verses author. Julie Walker, New York.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has threatened to withdraw from the ceasefire in Gaza and directed troops to prepare to resume fighting Hamas if the militant group does not release more hostages on Saturday. Hamas said Monday and reiterated Tuesday that it planned to delay the release of 3 more hostages after accusing Israel of failing to meet the terms of the ceasefire. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 123 points. More at townhall.com.
Let me talk about Relief Factor and how so many people enjoy a better, more pain-free life because of it. If you're dealing with everyday pain, it makes sense you'd want to try it first. Well, Relief Factor makes that pretty pain-free too with their 3-week quick start kit for only $19.95, less than $1 a day. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or eliminate pain. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF, 800-4RELIEF for Relief Factor.
Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song.
April breeze, give me my biggest tax refund, please. You, me, and a lifetime accuracy guarantee.
And now get $100 just to try Jackson Hewitt. Does your tax person do that?
Say goodbye to that no guarantee tax guy.
Ready to sail through tax season? Go to Jackson Hewitt and you'll be
Reeling in the refund.
limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Here's the Wall Street Business Report.
Stocks drifted to a mixed close following President Trump's latest tariff escalation and after the Federal Reserve hinted interest rates may not change for a while. The S&P 500 ended flat in the first trading since Mr. Trump imposed 25% tariffs on foreign steel and aluminum. The Dow rose 0.3%. The Nasdaq Composite slipped 0.4%. Movements in the bond market were likewise modest. Treasury yields inched higher after the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said again that the Fed is in no hurry to cut interest rates further. The Dow was up 123 points to close at 44,593. The Nasdaq lost 70 points to 19,643. The S&P 500 gained 2 points to 6068. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm John Scott.
News and analysis at townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters.
On Point Weather is made possible by our friends at Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Chilly and wet this evening with on and off showers and a low temperature tipping down to 40. Tomorrow the showers continue. Scattered rain, a high of 50 degrees. Warmer for Thursday, but still wet. Early on, thunderstorms. In the morning, the high does climb to 68 degrees. And Friday, looking much nicer. Sunshine, the high near 60. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
The Point. The Point.
This is Sports Talk with Phil Kornblut and Chris Bergen. Sports Talk is heard across the state on radio affiliates of the Sports Talk Media Network and is streaming live on SportsTalkSC.com, as well as Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. The South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number to call in is 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now, here are Phil and Chris with tonight's edition of Sports Talk.
All right, welcome in. Good to have you with us on this Talking Tuesday night here on Sports Talk. Phil Kornblut, Chris Bergen, Josh Cohen at your service. Hope you had a great day. You know, I knew with Bergie gone last week that our temperatures would be in the mid-70s, and as soon as he comes back, our temperatures dive into the 30s. I blame you because you are
wintertime. It is still wintertime, my friend.
You are Mr. Winter Wonderland.
You've lived in South Carolina long enough, to not be fooled by temperatures in the 70s in early February.
This is true.
Because it will be miserable at Founders Park and at Springsbrook Stadium and probably out in Arlington. It may be nice, but for the most part, opening day of college baseball is always played in sub-zero freezing temperatures with rain.
Do we call it? Do we continue to call it Founders Park, or do we refer to it as Ray Tanner Field?
That's a great question. My guess is Founders would probably appreciate at least the university referring to it as Founders Park since they pay for the naming rights. I don't think Ray Tanner probably put any money into that.
Well, he put his sweat and his tears and his heart.
No, I get that.
Which I think
you probably have to do something along the lines of Ray Tanner
than
Field.
money. Everything is not about money.
Sure. That's
but
probably something along the lines of Ray Tanner Field at Founders Park. How's that?
I am a fan of Founders, so I'm all for calling it Founders Park, continuing to call it Founders Park. But it will be Ray Tanner Field when they have the official presentation on Saturday. So, yeah, we're getting geared up for baseball. Exciting time of the year. Coach Kevin Schnall of Coastal Carolina will be making his first appearance on the show as the full-time head coach. We've had him in the past when he had to fill in for Coach when he was going through health issues, and so he was with us some then, but he was the interim guy. Now we get him as the full-time guy, stepping into two of the biggest shoes in all of college baseball. So looking forward to having him with us. Clemson getting ready to head out to Texas to play in that tournament. And, of course, I'd forgotten, but it came up today with Eric Backage talking with the media, and we'll hear some from him. He's got to sit out the first two games, as does Jack Leggett. Yep. In fact, Jack's not even traveling with them. Eric's going to be doing the game on the Clemson Baseball Network. He's going to be sitting in on the radio.
Is he really?
That's what he said. He's going to be sitting in the radio booth. I think if I understood him properly, I thought he said he'd be sitting in, or maybe he said he'd be listening. No, he wouldn't be listening. I think he said he'd be sitting in on the radio broadcast. So, yeah, he's got to sit out the first two games because of his temper tantrum in the Super Regional loss to Florida. Yeah, that was a great argument. Didn't think about it then. Way back then, you're not thinking about having to sit out the first two games of the next season, but now it's here.
Mm-hmm. Would you rather have that, though, than have him sit out the first two games of the World Series had Clemson won that Super? I think his impact would have been felt more, considerably greater had he had to sit out the first two games of the College World Series.
Yeah, but I think
through the Supers.
Don't you think he would have taken that to get to Omaha?
But sure,
he would have accepted that to get to Omaha. So, Clemson basketball last night. I was up there for that, of course, and the Tigers. Man, they are red hot right now. They're playing some great basketball. They showed it again last night. They just totally dismantled North Carolina. They made North Carolina look like a really second-rate team, which they might be despite their talent. Clemson played extremely well. Again, shot the ball really, really well. And, I mean, what can you say about Victor Larkin right now is he is like P.J. Hall redo. I mean, he's hitting the outside shot. He's making the plays inside. He's blocking shots. He's getting rebounds. He has been terrific. If they continue to get that kind of play from him through the rest of the regular season and into the postseason, they're going to be a tough out. And, of course, Chase Hunter got on his game in the second half, and Jaden Zachary, the same thing. They really, when Locken did not score very much in the second half, those two stepped up and played extremely well. So has 20 wins for a third consecutive year. They beat Kentucky and North Carolina and Duke for the first time since 78-79, all in the same season. Excuse me. And they sweep the 4 ACC rivals in the state of North Carolina. They have beaten them before, the 4 teams, in the same year, but they've never swept them. Since they're only playing them each once, and they won all 4 meetings, they don't play them again, so they get the 4-game sweep of Tobacco Road. So, I mean, that is a lot for Clemson basketball to feel good about right now as they look down the stretch of the regular season and think about this could end up being a team with 24, 25 regular season wins easily.
Oh, absolutely. And the way they played last night, and the way they played against Duke, I mean, this is a team that you can can easily see making it right back to where they were last year, to the Elite Eight. And then it's all about matchups, and that's what it's going to be depending on where they get seeded in the tournament. But they're definitely a tournament team and a team that can make it to the second weekend. I think Corey Alexander brought up a great point, though, last night during the broadcast as we were watching them just beat the crap out of North Carolina. There's no way you can convince anybody now that they weren't overlooking Georgia Tech to get ready for Duke and North Carolina the way they play, because that team we saw last night, that team we saw on Saturday night, beats Georgia Tech by 25 at least if they're focused. And the problem is, if you're Clemson, that's a game you just can't lose.
Yeah.
Because they would be sitting right now in first place in the ACC with the tiebreaker in their back pocket. Now they've still got to get some help. No matter what they do the rest of the way, if Duke wins out, Duke wins the league. And it's because they lost a game they had no business losing at home.
Just got to hope they get some help from somebody down the road, but there's not a whole lot left out there that's going to challenge any of these teams. I think another important aspect for Clemson right now is don't let up. Don't take your eye off the target, and like they got to go down to Florida State. Okay, that's going to be a dead situation there. The coach is retiring. The team's not winning. They're going to have to create their own excitement there. They got to go out to SMU. That could be a little dangerous out at SMU. SMU is not a bad club. That could be a little bit dangerous out there. So if they can play like they have been playing, and also getting the play off the bench that they've been getting from Dell Jones and now Chauncey Wiggins coming off the bench, and Hyder Breed coming off the bench. I mean, that gives them about an 8-man rotation that they can roll in there and feel very confident about.
Heck, they played 15 guys last night. If you had told people before the season began that Clemson and North Carolina would play in February and the Tigers would play everybody on the roster, I doubt you'd believe that they would be the one up by 20. But, I mean, that's how it got to a point. And Brad Brownell just continued to empty the bench. But I thought Locken was terrific last night. He's been really, really good of late, as you pointed out. And that's just another piece to the puzzle to add, along with Ian Shefflin, who quietly just goes about his business, especially off the backboards. And then Chase Hunter is going to be first-team All-ACC and probably would be ACC Player of the Year if it's not for Cooper Flagg.
Yeah, he was really good in the second half. Finished with 19 points total, 7 of 13 from the floor. The Tigers hit a dozen three-pointers. But, I mean, Locken took the first shot of the game off the tip. A few seconds in, it was a long three, and he made it. And you kind of knew at that point that he might be in store for a big night. He just dominated the first half. He single-handedly that was they were down by 1. And then they went on a run where he scored, I think it was 14 points. He scored 20 points in the first half, many of those on three-point shots. And again, 6 rebounds. I think he had 5 blocks. Just a complete all-around terrific game. And they were able to do it with Shefflin only scoring 5 points. He did get 10 rebounds, and he played his normal hustle game. So to win the way they did, and Shefflin not giving you a bunch of points, tells you about the depth of the Clemson team and guys being able to pick up other guys. So they're now 20-5, 12-2, and that's 3 straight 20-win seasons. They should be going to their 3rd straight NCAA tournament. 2 years ago they really got royally screwed. by the committee. 14 ACC wins. They don't get in. They had 20-something regular season wins. I think it was 23 regular season wins and 14 ACC wins, and they don't get in. Now, if you're Clemson, do you think Indiana is a real concern when it comes to Brad Brownell?
Probably more so than Miami, even though he's got his former boss down there. I don't think Miami will be as appealing. But, yeah, Indiana would be – I mean, if you're Brad Brownell, Midwestern guy, and Indiana calls, how do you not take that phone call?
Well, I mean, he is an Indiana guy. I mean, he is from the state, not just Midwestern. He's from the state. Didn't go to Indiana, went to DePaul, D-E-P-A-U-W?
UW,
Yeah.
correct.
But obviously he has – I mean, I'm not going to say obviously he has affection for the state or for the school. I don't know that. He's just from Indiana. That's where he learned his basketball. That's where his dad was a coach, and I imagine he has some warm feelings for the state. But if you're Brad Brownell at this stage of your career, at your age, you're making good money at Clemson. You finally got it going, and you're kind of getting the ACC at a good time. I mean, it really is. No longer, as it stands right now, your Clemson. No longer is it a back-breaking game-by-game grind. It really isn't. I mean, there's Duke this year. There's Duke, and there's Louisville, and, I mean, who else is there besides Clemson? There's no – it's not a league of 7 or 8 or 9 top 25 teams, 7, 8, or 9 bid teams. It's not. It's maybe 3. So my point is you're having maybe your highest point during the ACC's weakest point. That's not your problem. That's not your problem. The rest of the league is not your problem. You take advantage of the situation, just like with football. I mean, Clemson football this year, one of the reasons it was able to bounce back because it's such a crappy ACC football league this year. Clemson took advantage of it, got to the championship game, won it, and got in the playoffs. It's not their problem that nobody else in the league can play. You know, they just take care of their own business. Brad Brownell, take care of your own business. Right now, the latest bracketology from Joe Lunardi has got Clemson as a number 7 seed and playing in Wichita against Oklahoma, the 10 seed. 7 versus 10. I would pick Clemson.
I would too.
Right away in that particular matchup. But here we go again.
Who's the 2 seed in that region?
Who is the 2?
Yep.
You're asking me that question?
Yes.
You want me to tell you who the 2 seed is?
Yes, because that's who Clemson would face in round 2.
Well, you know,
round of 32.
You asked the corner question, what are you going to get?
I hope the answer.
You're going to get an answer. So the 2 seed is Texas A&M.
Ooh.
Yeah. Texas A&M in Wichita. So Clemson, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, and Norfolk State. With Texas A&M, the 2 seed. Tennessee would be the 1 seed playing in Raleigh.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So,
see, that's why Clemson's got to find a way to move up a little bit in the seedings because they've got to find a 7 seed is, though I say this, and that's exactly what South Carolina was back in 2017 when they went to the Final Four. So maybe that's a lucky seed in our state. But, boy, you'd like to move up a little bit to avoid. I'm not sure. Texas A&M would be a tough matchup for the Tigers, I think.
No question. They're a tough matchup for anybody with that guard and with their size.
Yep.
But here you got Tennessee, which is 20-4, 7-4. Already has 4 league losses.
Yeah, I don't see
that as
1.
And still would be a 1 seed according to Joe Lunardi. I mean, that's the respect. That's the respect you have for the SEC. And look what's coming up this Saturday in the SEC. This used to be owned by even tonight. We'll talk about tonight in a minute, but coming up Saturday, look what you got. You got Arkansas. Okay, that's no good. You got Vanderbilt at Tennessee. You got Auburn at Oklahoma. You got Mississippi State at Ole Miss. Those all are games involving ranked teams, both of them being – well, Vanderbilt's not ranked, but we know Vanderbilt's really good. South Carolina at number 3, Florida, by the way. But now tonight, you got Tennessee at Kentucky. All right, they're going to tip off at 7. And then you got Florida at Mississippi State. That's number 3 at number 22. And you got actually tonight might be a better night. Yeah, I think tonight's actually better than Saturday. Tonight you got Tennessee at Kentucky, Florida at Mississippi State, Auburn at Vanderbilt, Alabama at Texas, though Texas is below average, and Georgia at Texas A&M. That's a pretty good slate. That's the kind of slate you used to get in the ACC every Wednesday night, every Wednesday and every Saturday.
But the only difference is on Saturday you've got 1 versus 2.
Yeah.
In Auburn against Alabama, or 1 versus 2 the other way, depending on you go AP poll or you go coaches poll. They'll unite the belts on Saturday in Tuscaloosa, one way or the other.
Now, interesting that the pollsters did not drop Auburn. Auburn was number 1, right? They were number 1.
Mm-hmm.
They got beat. They got beat at home Saturday. And they got beat at home it was pretty convincing loss, as I recall. But they didn't drop from number 1.
They have, if I'm not mistaken, the most quad 1 victories of anybody in the country. And probably that.
But they got beat by 9 at home by number 6. I mean, shouldn't you pay a little bit of a penalty?
And the coaches did. They bumped them down to 2.
Now, who pays attention to the coaches? I'm talking about the real geniuses, the media.
Oh, yeah. The ones that hadn't ranked Clemson in weeks. Yeah, those same guys.
Yeah, same guys. Okay, so tonight we got Coach Kevin Schnall coming up. Excuse me, at 7:05. Yes, there's going to be a lot of hacking here. Still hacking. But better. I have a voice, at least, for the most part. Kevin Schnall. 7:35, Josh Harris from Darlington. He's heading down to Daytona. And so getting ready for Speed Week down there. Getting ready for the 500 on Sunday. And some comments from Clemson baseball coach Eric Backish. Some comments from Clemson basketball coach Brad Brownell. So we got a full boat for you tonight, plus recruiting coming up, and we'll touch on some other top stories of the day. We invite your phone calls. You can reach us at 888-898-2525. South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number to reach us here on Sports Talk. You can also text us on our Sports Talk text line. That number is 803-900-4847. 803-900-4847. Josh thought I forgot it. And, of course, text us off our YouTube and Facebook feeds. Back in a moment.
When I grow up, I want to be a teacher. I want to be a dentist. I want to be an engineer.
Making dreams come true starts with making a plan. Future Scholar, South Carolina's 529 college savings plan, makes it easy to invest in a child's future education so they can chase any dream. You can start with any amount. Contributions are tax-deductible, and earnings grow tax-free. Discover the smart, easy way to save for college today at futurescholar.com.
Relax. Start your journey with a new auto loan. Get on the road with an auto loan from Founders Federal Credit Union. From city streets to off-road trails, your journey begins here. Our low fixed rates can get you on the road in a ride that fits your lifestyle and budget with no payments for up to 90 days. You can apply for a pre-approved spending limit even before you start shopping. Visit one of our many convenient office locations or go to foundersfcu.com/auto to apply for an auto loan today. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hosteller-Brown. Did you know your will is designed for your assets to pass through the probate court? If you want to keep your loved ones out of court, a revocable trust is a great place to start. Visit lawyerlisa.com for more information and to see how we can help.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
George Bryant for Tsunami Bar Sports, our inventor, David Abernathy, has always said Tsunami Bar technology allows us to take the training to the grass. Now I know through my sport of golf that natural agility can be converted to athletic ability. And why is this, Tsunami Robbie?
Transferring the training to the grass. This may be the most undervalued characteristic of the Tsunami flexible bar technology. The Tsunami bar action loads and unloads at the concentric and eccentric transition points. This is what we call reversal forces, and the Tsunami bar is the only bar and training device that I know of that can train these reversal forces adequately at speed.
Hey, this is Phil Kornbluth. The Tsunami Bar is a terrific training device, whether you're working on your fitness or your golf game. It's convenient, it's easy to use, and you won't feel beat up afterwards. Be sure to click on the digital ad on SportsTalkSC.com and get 5% off any order using promo code BBB5. Don't wait, order today.
Down in London town to go. Oh, with the record selection and the mirror's reflection, I'm a dancing with myself. Oh, when there's no one else inside.
I know it doesn't feel like spring right now. It did last week, and it will again sooner than later. And you know what? Then your thoughts will be turning to spring vacation, summer vacation, just getting away from everything and everybody. And what do I say? Go east, young man. That's right. Pack up the wagon. Go east till you can't go any more east until your four wheels are underwater. That means you're in the Atlantic Ocean. And while you're there, you need a place to stay. And, of course, we want you to call Jimmy Smith at James Smith Real Estate. His phone number is 843-237-4246. Let me give you that number again. 843-237-4246 or online at pauliesvacationrentals.com. Jimmy, he won't let you sleep in your car. He'll find you a great condominium to stay in. He'll find you a house that fits your budget and fits the size of your company. You need it for 4 people, 6 people, 8 people, 10 people, 12 people, even more than that. How many bedrooms do you need? You just tell them what you need, and they will go to work and find it for you and make it fit your budget. Again, that phone number is 843-237-4246 or online at pauliesvacationrentals.com. And, you know, don't delay. All the good stuff will get taken up on the dates that you have to get to the beach. So you need to act today. 843-237-4246 for your perfect beach getaway. Okay, open up the phone lines. 888-898-2525. Clemson fans, a Clemson fan, a singular Clemson basketball fan. I know you exist.
Where are you people?
I know you are alive. I mean, you have packed Little John throughout the season, especially these last 2 games. Though there wasn't the energy last night that there was for Duke, and that's probably a natural. It really wasn't the energy. In fact, there were a few empty seats. Some people just didn't show up, but it was still a very good crowd, very loud crowd, and very pleased with what they saw from their Tigers last night. So I'm wondering what Clemson fans are thinking about with this basketball team. Phone number 888-898-2525. That's how you can reach us. Our poll question of the week brought to you by Larry Lucas Insurance. Call Larry at 803-799-1998 for all your insurance questions and needs. South Carolina basketball looking to get its first SEC win. Can you believe we're here middle of February and we're asking that question? When is South Carolina going to get its first SEC win? Did not see this coming, did you?
No, I did not. Part of it is I didn't think the Southeastern Conference would be anywhere close to as strong in basketball as it is. But on the flip side of that, never would have thought in a million years after last season that the Gamecocks would be as bad as they are this year.
Yeah. Well, 55.6% say the Gamecocks will win 1 or 2 more games. 33% say they'll win 0. So that means they'll finish the regular season with no SEC wins. That would be a first for them. 11.1% believe they will win 3 to 5. Nobody believes they'll win between 6 and 8 games. So we'll see what happens here moving forward for Gamecock men's basketball. They got Ole Miss at home tomorrow night, a good Ole Miss team. A game they can win at home if they play at their best, don't you think? I mean, this will be a fast-paced game. Ole Miss, they like to shoot it quickly, as I recall. They have good guards. So South Carolina is going to have to play at a high level, but they can win this game.
Well, I mean, you just go back to what they've done against some of the top flight teams they've faced this year. Should have beaten Auburn. Could have beaten Vanderbilt. Didn't deserve to beat Vanderbilt. Certainly could have beaten Florida. And Florida and Auburn are better teams than Ole Miss. So, yes, it can happen. Gamecocks just have got to get some confidence and something to go their way early.
Okay, we'll hit the break and come back to your phone calls.
Wet early on, thunderstorms. In the morning, the high does climb to 68 degrees. And Friday, looking much nicer. Sunshine, the high near 60. I'm Cal Moss with your on-point local weather.
Tradition and quality. That's what you get with H&J Cattle Company, where local third-generation farmers ensure you receive the finest beef in South Carolina. Our registered Hereford and Wagyu cattle are raised with sustainable practices, without growth hormones, antibiotics, or animal byproducts. Taste the difference with the highest quality beef guaranteed. Order now at hdjcattle.co or on Instagram and Facebook at H&J-Cattle.co. Again, H&J-Cattle.co, where ethics meets quality.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters reporting the Democratic governor in Kansas has vetoed a proposed Republican-backed ban on transgender treatments for minors. Members of the GOP-controlled legislature had expected the action that Governor Laura Kelly announced Tuesday because she vetoed two similar bills previously. This year's measure would ban sex change surgeries, hormone treatments, and puberty blockers for minors. The family of American teacher Mark Fogel says it's beyond grateful, relieved, and overwhelmed that he's heading home after his release from Russia. The White House announced Tuesday that Fogel had been released. President Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff left Russian airspace with Fogel on Tuesday. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 123 points. The Nasdaq dropped 70. More details at srnnews.com.
You don't normally call a plumber until you need a plumber. Well, if you need one today or if you need one tomorrow, I want you to remember Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning. Listen, I might not know all the tricks to turning a wrench, but I do know how a plumbing company should work and how to treat people. My dad was a plumber. My grandfather was a plumber, and so were three of my uncles. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning does it right. They are the epitome of customer service. They're locally owned and operated, and Josh and his team, well, they put customer service as the top priority for Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning. I've never known a business owner more intent on making it a great experience for people. And let's face it, when you have a plumbing crisis, well, that could be traumatic. They specialize in service and replacement issues for your home or for your business. They've been to my home and fixed 3 different plumbing issues I had in the house. If you need them, they're there to help. Online at franklinplumbing.sc.com or call Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning 799-2222. That's 799-2222, and tell them Kev sent you from The Point.
At Palmetto State Armory, we offer the largest selection of guns and ammunition at unbeatable prices. Our knowledgeable and friendly staff are here to provide personalized assistance, ensuring you find exactly what you need. If you enjoy outdoor activities like hunting, camping, or hiking, our clothing and outdoor gear collection has got you covered. We also feature an exceptional indoor range facility where you can experience the thrill of shooting in a safe and controlled environment. Visit us today at PalmettoStateArmory.com or your local retail store. Palmetto State Armory, American made for life.
Hey y'all, this is Ted from Flight Deck Restaurant. We have an amazing Valentine's Day special this year. We're offering a slow roasted certified NSB prime rib dinner, served with 2 sides, choice of cookies such as chocolate chip, peanut butter, lemon blueberry, caramel apple cookies, and your choice of soft drink. Only $27.95 per person. So please come and enjoy a great Valentine's Day dinner at Flight Deck Restaurant, located at the Shops of Flight Deck in downtown Lexington. Thanks y'all and God bless.
Relax. Start your journey with a new auto loan. Get ready for a season of adventure. Escape the ordinary and get on the road with an auto loan from Founders Federal Credit Union. From city streets to off-road trails, your journey begins here. Our low fixed rates can get you on the road in a ride that fits your lifestyle and your budget. Featuring no payments for up to 90 days. Simply apply early for a pre-approved spending limit before you even start shopping. Let a Founders representative be your trusted advisor to make sure your purchase makes sense for you and your finances. Ask for a free auto insurance quote for a personalized plan to protect your purchase. Founders also offers mechanical breakdown protection that is competitive with most warranty plans available at dealerships. Visit one of our many convenient office locations or go to foundersfcu.com/auto to apply for an auto loan today or to see if you qualify for membership with Founders. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply.
From touchdowns to three-point shots, we've got it all, tying the knots, bringing you the latest scoop. Sports Talks, the absolute truth. Sports Talk's the place to be. From the court to the field, we're breaking news.
Okay, we're back at Sports Talk Media Network, 888-898-2525. Some TV numbers have come out. Super Bowl, 127.7 million viewers. That's on Fox and Tubi and Telemundo, Fox Deportes. That's where I watched it. I watched it on Fox Deportes. I was working on my Spanish. NFL digital outlets. Darion Kendrick, Lamar Silver Foxes. He had 133.5 million viewers. Best Super Bowl halftime audience ever, it says. Game peaked at 137.7 million between 8 and 8:15. Best Super Bowl pregame audience ever. This is all coming from Fox PR, of course. I mean, how accurate are these numbers? Who knows? That's what they put out, and that's what Madison Avenue believes when it comes to selling them. So I guess there's some authenticity to it.
I just have a question. Our country is over 300 million people. What are the other 2/3 of the country doing on Super Bowl Sunday? I have never, in my formative years, even going back to when I can remember, 5, 6 years of age, never not watched the Super Bowl. I mean, what are you doing with your life if you're not watching the Super Bowl?
Probably doing something illegal.
I mean, seriously, I've never understood that because the numbers always come out and it's well over 100 million people to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So that leaves 2/3 of our country not watching the Super Bowl. And it just, to me, it makes no sense. I don't understand.
I wonder
What
if
are
it's
you
multiple
doing?
people watching on one screen. Because a lot of people have Super Bowl parties.
Yeah, true.
A lot of people gather around one screen. I wonder if it has something to do with that.
You mean like the numbers?
Yeah, I
Like-
wonder if the numbers are not higher because, they're not. Everybody's gathering around at a Super Bowl party.
In other words, you can't account for everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, ESPN PR, they said that South Carolina-Texas women's game that South Carolina lost, if you weren't aware, had 1.3 million viewers. It peaked at 1.3, had a million, I guess was the average, peaked at 1.3. Most watched women's game across the ESPN platforms this season. Okay. A couple of other things. Phone number 888-898-2525. Also, in the world of TV media, part of a potential agreement, ESPN could take control of NFL media, which includes NFL Network, NFL.com, Red Zone, and NFL Films. That's because ESPN, the NFL, are resuming talks negotiating NFL media assets, and ESPN could emerge with control of the NFL Network and Red Zone. I shudder to think of that. I mean, having ESPN control the NFL Network and everything associated with it would not be a good thing. Would not be a good thing from a programming standpoint. I mean, the beautiful thing about the NFL Network is it's independence because, independence from ESPN because they can do their own thing with the power of the NFL and have their own people. And, I'm sick of ESPN's programming. I'm sick of ESPN's on-air personalities. They're just not good. And, I like the NFL Network because of the purity of the people talking football. They're there talking football and talking their business. They're not into a whole bunch of crap that you get on the ESPN channels. I would hate to see that happen. personally.
Yeah, and I don't understand why the NFL would need ESPN's help.
I don't need
the NFL appears they approach themselves and build themselves. They don't need anybody's help.
Yeah, I don't know
do their
what this
own
deal
thing.
is all about. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know why it's come to this. The in-state net rankings. This was before Clemson. I got to update this. Clemson was 30th in the net going into last night. Let me see where they are today. I haven't had a chance to look today how much they benefited, if at all, from beating North Carolina. That gives the Tigers, a boost of 3 spots. They're now number 27 in the net ranking after their win last night over North Carolina. They are 3-2 in quad 1 games, 6-2 in quad 2, 6-1 in quad 3, and 5-0 in quad 4 games. So they move up to 27 off their win last night over North Carolina. South Carolina's 90th. College of Charleston is 147. Furman is 152. Wofford 156. Winthrop 189. South Carolina State 232. Presbyterian 268. Charleston Southern 274. Coastal Carolina 328. Upstate 348. Citadel 361. I think there's only 364 total. I say only. So Citadel's kind of tickling the toes of being the last team in the country.
You know what's funny about that, though, Phil? There are certain statistical pieces of information that the NCAA keeps that they don't go past 355 teams. So are some of those teams just not submitting? Because I think you're right. I think it's over 360.
Well, let me take a look here at what I use the net from bracketologists website, because they're current. They update it every day. They show 364 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The only reason I know this, and it's not a reason I'm proud of.
Now let me say this. Hang on. Let me say one thing here. No, I see a couple of teams have lines through their names, like West Georgia, Lemoyne, Mercyhurst. East Texas A&M.
Just take them out.
I don't know why
them.
I don't know why they are they not. Are they listed but they don't count? Is that why you get back to the 355 you're talking about?
Yeah, I don't know.
Stoneville. Who the hell is
who?
Stonehill. The Stonehill Skyhawks. Can you you will impress me to no end if you can tell me the mascot for Mercyhurst. Mercyhurst.
Not a clue. Not a clue.
The Lakers.
Try and guess.
They are the Lakers.
The Lakers?
The Lakers.
Are they in Minnesota?
I couldn't tell you. Or here's one more for you. See how smart you are. Give me the nickname for Lemoyne without looking it up.
I want to say it's something like Panthers, Tigers, somewhere in that
Yeah,
neighborhood.
you're close. The Dolphins.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Lemoyne. When you think of Lemoyne, you certainly think of Dolphins, you know.
And Mercyhurst is in Erie, Pennsylvania. So
Off on that just a little bit. All right, couple of other quick notes. 888-898-2525. We got the Furman football schedule out today. Paladins can't wait to get back on the field after a disastrous season. They open up at home against William and Mary, followed by a home game against Presbyterian, followed by road games, Campbell, then an off week, and then Samford, then home to East Tennessee State, home, make that on the road to Western Carolina, on the road to Wofford, home to the Citadel, home to Mercer, at UT Chattanooga, home to VMI, and they wrap up the regular season at Clemson. So that is the 25 slate for the Paladins. Matt Patricia interviewed for the defensive coordinator job at Ohio State. What do you make of that?
Ooh. I think it might be a good move for Ohio State, and probably for him as well.
Dude certainly knows his football, certainly knows his
Yes, he
defense. Does. And this note, the NIL-related Title IX guidance that the Department of Education issued last month has been removed from its website. This is according to Katie Davis, who is a wife, a mom, a traveler, a Florida alum, a CPA, an advisor to universities, and college athletics, host of News and Brews, and a partner at James Moran and Company. So I guess all that makes her on the watch out for these kind of things. It was repeated by Ross Dellinger. A Department of Education spokesperson did not have immediate comment. The expectation was that the new administration would rescind that guidance. Remember that NIL guidance that came out under the previous administration late, that the money that schools would be setting aside for NIL payments, that would have to be shared among all the sports.
Right.
And, of course, football people are like, what are you talking about? And so apparently that's gone away at this particular time. So, I mean,
I don't see how.
You know, I picked up a little scuttlebutt at Clemson about, Clemson's going to take that money and it's going to football. Okay. Dabo Swinney's pretty much made it clear as a bell. Like, I understand from what I've heard is, like the women's basketball, you're kind of on your own. You're not getting any of that. And my thinking was, man, how's that going to be handled at South Carolina, where Dawn Staley is going to want her share of that pie for her program? And I wonder how that's going to be handled in the interior, the Jeremiah Donati's office and the various bean counters offices over there. How are you going to keep her happy when you got to spend it on football? That you got to keep football healthy and rolling. And it's not like you just can't. I mean, NIL is going to be available, but it's not going to be like it has been, where you can go get whatever you want. The new rule is anything over $600 in NIL money has to be approved by a clearinghouse, and that clearinghouse has to determine your market value, and your market value, then from that you will be eligible to get X amount of money via NIL. So no longer can somebody just say, go over here to this pizza place and they're going to pay you $75,000. Doesn't work that way anymore. Come July 1, you're going to get the sports are going to partition up that $20.5 million accordingly, how they see fit within the school. And then if you want to get additional NIL, you can get up to $600, but then the clearinghouse comes into play after that. Now, will that hold up under court?
No, absolutely not.
Well, I mean, don't you think before they throw these rules out and that they've taken it to a judge somewhere, or they've looked at it legally? I mean, they can't just start a whole new system and have it shot down again.
Well, they have. I mean, these are the same people who can't get pay for play under control as it is now. They never saw any of this coming, which just boggles the mind. They still haven't figured out how to deal with the transfer portal. We've got guys suing the NCAA to try and get their eligibility back from Division II programs and junior college programs. Yeah, I fully anticipate this going to court and the NCAA losing again, because I'll be fascinated if Sean Poppy is one of those guys and he gets $1,000 out of that. How in the world is he going to sit back and say that's fair? I'm going to sue the NCAA because my women are not being treated on the same plane as a football program.
Well, I can just tell you, places like Clemson, they're not going to spend a lot of that money on women's basketball.
Then it's going to end up in litigation somewhere.
If they can help it.
And this is federal money, correct?
No, I don't think so. This is money that schools are having to budget, that they make. Like like South Carolina getting a $52 million check from the SEC, right?
Right.
Well, if that's the pool of money they're using, 20.5 of that, they got to set aside $20.5 million somewhere, coming from somewhere, to take care of that budget item. The $20.5 million, that is the maximum you can set aside to pay your athletes. And, of course, every big-time school, every Power 4 big-time program is saying, we're going to set aside the full amount, the $20.5 million, because they don't want that being used against them. You don't want to go there. They're not spending the full $20.5 million, But I don't think those are federal dollars. I think that's the money that they've got from their various revenue streams, and it's a budget item.
Okay.
So
well, then it may not deal in litigation. I guess that might be the only way it goes around Title IX, because it's not federal or state funds, because it's private money coming in from the television contracts. I'm way over my head trying to figure this out.
Me too.
I just don't see how it's going to be situated where a softball program at Clemson that's pretty solid right now is not going to get any of the piece of that pie to help them out, and they'd be happy about that.
Well, I was reading a letter that Jeremiah Donati sent to Gamecock fans, the new South Carolina AD, sort of an introductory letter. Hello, fans. I'm a month into the job, etc. And one thing he wrote about was the future of NIL. And so that's where I updated myself on what was going on here. So he wrote this. He wrote, all deals between third parties and the athletes over $600 will be subject to an independent fair market value analysis on a case-by-case basis. Details that are above, let's try it again. Deals that are above FMV, fair market value, after being reviewed by a clearinghouse, will not be permissible for the athlete to accept. So that's what I'm saying. No longer can you say, hey, man, I think I'm worth $50,000 for coming in here and just signing autographs for a half hour. That ain't going to fly anymore. He writes, this model is much different than what is currently being offered by NIL collectives and NIL supporters around the country. While much work needs to be done to have the system in place, we need to prepare for the fast approaching date while continuing to monitor how it will change in the coming months. Regardless of where we land on the NIL on this NIL support, it will continue to be important to Gamecock athletes, and it is imperative that we continue to support them in our business community. So that's the story. I mean, that's what it's going to be. And what the Naughty's doing here is getting out in front of it and saying, hey, this is how it's going to work, but we still need you people to fund, our winless SEC basketball program and our other programs as well. You need to keep pouring your money in there in the hopes that they can win an SEC game at some point. But I mean, that's what he's saying here too. Still gotta bleed the supporters as much as you can, because South Carolina's going to have to pay the women's basketball team. Period.
Oh, absolutely.
They're going to have to pay those players. They're going to make, $1 million. Some are going to make $1 million. The players. And then, I imagine baseball will probably feel a pinch. I mean, how many baseball players are going to make a bunch of money? Ethan Petrie, maybe. We'll see who else emerges over there. And of course, football is going to get its major share of it. So I'm just telling you, that's what it's going to be looking like here moving forward.
So the haves in football are going to get greater, and the have-nots are really going to have a problem. So basically where we're headed now is a separation at the FBS level.
Well, they're all going to have the $20.5 million, those who want to fund it.
All of them, or just the Power Four?
I mean, anybody in the Power Four who can afford to do it and wants to do it can have the $20.5 million as part of their budget.
I'm State Treasurer Curtis Loftus. Whether it's becoming a teacher, dentist, or engineer, every child deserves the chance to chase their dreams. Investing in a child's education with Future Scholar, South Carolina's 529 College Savings Plan, can help turn those big dreams into next steps. So don't wait. You can start with any amount. Contributions are tax deductible and earnings grow tax-free. Discover the smart, easy way to save for college at futurescholar.com.
We're with Major Billy Downer of the Department of Natural Resources. Major Downer, it's hunting season in South Carolina this fall, and folks need to be prepared from a legal standpoint.
That's right, Phil. Everyone always needs to buy their hunting license or fishing license. Everyone always worries about losing their license. Well, now that's not a problem anymore because you can keep your license on your phone. That's right, Go Outdoors SC. It's an app. Look for it on your Apple or Android devices. You can buy your license, you can renew your boat registration, and it's all right there on your phone. Remember, Go Outdoors SC in your app store.
There's a lot of things we take for granted in our lives. Your home's AC will run cool. Your drive-through coffee will be hot. And the car will start when it's time to take your kids to school. It's when things don't go as planned that you start thinking about who to call and where to turn. The good thing is, you can prepare for life's most difficult days by calling the Larry Lucas Agency today. Larry is a State Farm agent that has been taking care of people across South Carolina for more than 2 decades. You probably have insurance, but switching is easy, and bundling can save you hundreds or more. Most importantly, the Larry Lucas Agency can help you choose the protection you want at the price you want. All backed by South Carolina's #1 home and auto insurance company. Visit LarryLucasAgency.com today or give Larry a call at 803-799-1998. Like a good neighbor, Larry Lucas State Farm is there.
The lottery is not about getting rich. It's about helping people, and it always has been. The lottery is what helped raise the Great Wall of China, build the roads of Rome, and today in South Carolina, it's what generates millions of dollars each year for scholarships like the SC Hope, Life, and Palmetto Fellows. The South Carolina Education Lottery is investing in you. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou to learn more.
George Bryant here for Tsunami Bar Sports, and some say the fun is in the winning. I say the fun is in the training. And Tsunami Robbie, what do you say?
George, we all know you get more done when you're having fun. This technology is different, it's engaging, but it's also a lot of fun to use.
Hi, this is Phil Kornblut. Be sure to click on the digital ad on SportsTalkSC.com and get 5% off any Tsunami Bar order using promo code BBB5. Don't wait, order today.
All right, coming up on the top of the hour, got a busy second hour. Coach Kevin Schnall from Coastal Carolina, baseball. And we'll hear from Brad Brownell, Clemson basketball from last night. Josh Harris, a visit from him. We'll have recruiting for you as well. So a lot to come. Eric Bakich, Clemson baseball as well. We can squeeze all that in. Let's go down to Charleston. Welcome in Sam to the program. Sam, welcome into Sports Talk. How you doing?
Doing great. I got some great news that I have new pair of glasses.
Well, that's just awesome.
Yeah, my other ones hurt my forehead, so that's long gone. So which is good.
Well, I tell you what. Now, are they bifocals or what kind of glasses are they?
So when I was little growing up, I used to wear bifocals. Has like liners on the glasses. That's what I wore when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I would have a conversation with you about UNC and Clemson last night. Can I tell you about that?
What's that?
Well, let's just say that Clemson is a swear word, if you know that, right?
Clemson is a what?
Clemson is a swear word.
Clemson is a swear word.
Yeah.
What makes you think? What makes you think so?
Well, I just want to give full credit to Brad Burnell's team. I think they out rebounded us last night. I saw that last night on TV.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give him a little bit of credit for that, and I really think that Clemson will not be in the top 25. Period. So I'm going to be really careful with this, but if you're a Clemson fan, good luck in football season because we have big Tar Heel football coming to go towards you. And second of all, I have a quick question about the college here, Austin, real quick. I know we're playing UNCW tomorrow night. What do you think about the tomorrow night's game? Who's going to win?
Oh, Cougars, man. All over the Cougars. Yeah, put your money on the Cougars there, Sam. I think you'll do well. Charleston needs to win that game. It's a big game for them in the CAA. Okay, thank you very much. Going to talk some baseball with Coach Kevin Schnall coming up. Find out about this Coastal Carolina team after the break.
WXL Columbia W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters reporting. The Department of Education moved to terminate nearly $1 billion in research contracts.
A federal research office that tracks the progress of America's students is being hit with almost $900 million in cuts after Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency found no need for much of its work. Industry groups say at least 169 contracts were suddenly terminated, accounting for much of the Education Department's Institute of Education Sciences work. Advocates for students say the cuts could hurt the accountability of America's education system, affecting low-income students and students of color who historically have fallen behind their peers. Congress gave the Institute about $800 million last year. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
While meeting with Jordan's King Abdullah II at the White House today, President Trump gave a blunt warning to Hamas about the Israeli hostages it still holds.
I don't want to do 2 and then we do another 2 in another week and then we do 4 in 3 weeks. No. They either have them out by Saturday at 12 o'clock or all bets are off.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Tuesday threatened to withdraw from the ceasefire unless more hostages are released Saturday. His statement came after Hamas threatened to call off scheduled hostage releases. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has signed an order restoring the name of a storied Special Operations Forces base in North Carolina back to Fort Bragg. He said Tuesday there will be more name changes coming. Hegseth is renaming it to honor World War II hero PFC Roland L. Bragg. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 123 points, the Nasdaq dropped 70, the S&P 500 up by 2. More on these stories at townhall.com.
No, you're really not stuck, really. People think when it comes to paying for health care, they just have to kind of go along with the way it is, no matter how frustrated they are with it. But it's not true. MediShare has been a huge help to people for 30 years now. And more these days, especially, people are realizing what a great alternative it is. And the difference isn't just the savings, which are huge. It's the whole thing. You're a part of something good. It's a community of people who care for and pray for and encourage each other. You don't have to pay for things you don't believe in either. You're actually sharing. And yeah, back to the savings, often up to $500 a month with MediShare. The customer service is refreshing too because they're for you. It's just a different way. And even though you might feel stuck with the frustrating status quo, it's not so. You can call them now and start saving and feeling better about how you're doing it too. Here's the number. It's 844-41-BIBLE. That's 844-41-BIBLE. 844-41-BIBLE.
In Detroit today, 2 young children were found dead in a car, frozen to death.
Authorities in Detroit are investigating the deaths of 2 children who likely froze to death in a van outside a casino. Police say they had been living in the vehicle with their family for a few months, moving around the city when possible. There were 3 other children and 2 adults in the vehicle. Mayor Mike Duggan says the family reached out for help with housing in November, but no resolution was reached. The mayor says it's a terrible day in Detroit. I'm Haya Panjwani.
The FBI says it's discovered 2,400 records related to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy as federal agencies work to comply with President Trump's executive order to release thousands of classified files. The FBI said Tuesday it's working to transfer the documents to the National Archives and Records Administration. News and analysis at townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters.
On Point Weather is made possible by our friends at Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Chilly and wet this evening with on and off showers and a low temperature tipping down to 40. Tomorrow the showers continue. Scattered rain, a high of 50 degrees. Warmer for Thursday, but still wet early on. Thunderstorms in the morning. The high does climb to 68 degrees. And Friday looking much nicer. Sunshine, the high near 60. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
The Point. The Point.
Welcome back to Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network. You can reach the guys with the South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number, 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now back to Phil and Chris with the second hour of Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network.
Okay, we're back with you. Hour number 2 of Sports Talk on this Tuesday night. Great to have you with us. Back in studio. My first night back in studio in over a week since the flu, and then up to Clemson last night for basketball. Good to be back. Josh, it wasn't necessary for you to have the flowers and the get well cards and all that in here. That's appreciate the touch and the concern, but wasn't necessary. And I'm not paying for them either. Chris Bergen from the Berge Palace over in Sardis. And, you know, baseball season is upon us. If you didn't know it, Coach Jim Toman, just a bit outside, was with the guys last night to kind of help you get ready for the start of the baseball season, college baseball. First Friday of action for the big schools coming up this Friday. We continue to get you ready by hearing from coaches around the state, and it's a pleasure to welcome into Sports Talk in his first year as the full-time head coach at Coastal Carolina, Coach Kevin Schnall joining us here on Sports Talk. And, Coach, welcome in. It's great to have you with us tonight. How you doing?
Doing great. I appreciate you guys having me.
As always, good to have you back with us. But now it's a whole new world for you in that, I mean, I know it's nothing new for you to have the Coastal uniform on and to be ready for another season, but you always had that other guy to stand next to. Now, you know, you're the guy they're going to be standing next to. How's that feel to you?
Well, you're right. You know, unfortunately, change is inevitable. Gilly's missed, will be missed, but we're lucky. You know, his standards and his legacy will continue on. So we're really grateful for everything that he's done. I fill this seat with gratitude, and it's an absolute honor to follow in his footsteps.
Well, if there's anybody who should have a feel for how to coach in the Coastal way, it's you, after being there as a player and a coach and working with Gilly all those years. But as a head coach, do you have to in any way kind of separate your way somewhat from the past? Or do you think what you've been doing in your role and watching Gilly and how things have been done, you just pick that up and continue with it?
Well, you know, the processes are the same, just the responsibilities change a little bit. And, you know, I'm very fortunate to Coach Gilmore because throughout his career and my time working with him is he always, you know, delegated, and he always gave his assistants autonomy. So it gave us, you know, much more responsibilities, and ultimately it's put me in this position, and I feel like I'm more prepared for this position because of that.
Same style of baseball that we've seen over all these years at Coastal?
Always. You know, we're looking to, you know, have an offense that can win in multiple ways. We want to have the, you know, most diverse offense possible. Obviously, we want to hit. We want to hit with power, but we also want to be able to do the inside game, the short game, be able to steal bases and run the bases extremely aggressively. And then, obviously, we want to have a pitching staff that, that is deep, that provides different looks, left-handers, right-handers, and this pitching staff that we currently have could be, the deepest and best pitching staff we've had in a long time.
As you come out of preseason camp, especially with your pitchers, how is the health of the team?
Right now, we're in good shape. One of our returning hitters is going to miss opening weekend, but he should not be out too long. But outside of that, we're in good shape. We're healthy. We've got an awesome athletic trainer and strength conditioning coach that play a vital role in making sure these guys stay healthy.
Well, you certainly have one of the best players in the country. He's on all the preseason All-American teams. Caden Bodine, your catcher, guy that's played a lot of baseball for you. What is it about him that makes him so special, and how does the rest of the team sort of, thrive from what he does, follows his leadership, I guess I should say?
Well, let me start by saying he's absolutely the best catcher in all of college baseball. We're fortunate to have him. Selfishly, I'm a little disappointed that this will be the last year I'll be able to share a dugout with him, but I am going to embrace every minute, every game that I get a front row seat to watch him play one more year. What makes him tick is he's a competitor. I like to call him a no chrome guy, kind of a throwback. It's not about him, it's about us. But again, it goes back to his professional approach, his competitiveness, and then obviously he's got tremendous ability. I mean, he can catch, he can throw, he's a switch hitter, he does it all. He's going to be a major leaguer, and we're really fortunate that he's part of our program.
Mm-hmm.
Coastal Carolina head baseball coach Kevin Snall with us here tonight on Sports Talk. And, Coach, I want to continue on the discussion of Caden Bodine. You certainly laid out his credentials, and I think he's an outstanding player, having seen him play myself. But in your mind, is he a better offensive player for you or a better receiver? And the reason I ask that is because here's a guy who had 37 assists for your team last year and committed one error. So on defense, how valuable is he behind the plate, maybe even more so than what he brings to you offensively?
Absolute shutdown catcher. You nailed it. Tremendous receiver. He does it all. Hits from both sides of the plate. Our hope this year is he can continue to push forward and ultimately hit more home runs. He hit 9 last year with 20 doubles. He's capable of 15 to 20 home runs. And the thing about him is he doesn't strike out. We almost want to see him maybe strike out a little bit more and take some more aggressive swings, which could potentially increase the slug. But again, just an unbelievable all-around player, switch-in catcher that is a legitimate switch hitter. And then, you nailed it, just a tremendous defensive catcher that can do it all. I mean, he really does shut down the running game and just controls our pitching staff at such an extreme high level.
To back up Coach's point, he started and played in all 60 games for them last year, struck out just 23 times. Coach, in addition to him, you've got to have guys around him in the order that make teams have to pitch to him. So do you feel comfortable with your lineup that you have guys that can protect Caden and not allow teams to pitch around him, especially as you get closer to conference play in a couple of, not even that long down the road, just a couple of weeks from now?
Yes, we feel that we do. They're just not proven at this point. I mean, we need Bodine and Blake Barthel, returning player from last year, to continue to be our main guys. And then, Dean Nijos is coming back. I mean, he's stronger, bigger, faster than he's been in the last 2 years. And, he's showing some great signs offensively. Jake Books is a returning big, strong left-hand hitter who hit 8 home runs last year for us. Can he take that next step forward? We got 2 junior college transfers, big physical left-hand hitters that, again, they're not proving, but they are trending right now in the right direction. We've got 2 4-year transfers, one an in-state guy that came here to us from the Citadel, Wells Sykes. Blagan Pato is a transfer from Longwood. Pato has all the tools. He's got power. He's got speed. Again, they're just not proven. Wells Sykes hit over 300 last year at the Citadel. He's just a a gritty type guy that could be a very nice complementary piece. But I agree with you. I mean, we need somebody to hit behind Bodine, protect Bodine. Bodine and Barthel will be our main two guys. Who is going to be that guy that steps up to protect them? That's still to be determined, but we do feel like we have some pieces that could fill that role.
You announced yesterday that one of your former players, member of the national championship team, is coming back, South Carolinian out of Gilbert, and that's Connor Owings, to be on your staff as a volunteer assistant. Clearly, he brings some leadership and some knowledge of the program and certainly championship-level knowledge. But what are you hoping to get out of him now that he's on your coaching staff?
Well, a lot. I mean, we're fortunate to have him. I mean, national champion, as you said, but he's also a national champion person. He was a 4-year player here, just got done playing professionally for the last 8 years. I mean, he's got a plethora of knowledge. He's approachable, he's knowledgeable, and he's going to immediately impact our program in a very positive way, and we're really fortunate to have him back.
A couple more minutes with Coach Kevin Schnall. You know, when you replace a legend, there can be a certain amount of pressure that comes on a coach, especially somebody who comes in from the outside and replaces a living legend who built a program. You're not an outsider, you're an insider, and you helped to build what you guys have now. Still, do you feel some additional pressure to follow in the footsteps of Coach Gilmore?
Well, I mean, let me put this in perspective here. I've spent 23 of the last 27 years in the same dugout as Gilly. 2 of those years was as a player, 21 as a coach. And, you think about that, that's 3 times an average marriage. That's half my life. But, together, as you said, I mean, we accomplished a lot of success. I mean, it was an incredible ride. It was his leadership, but we were together for a lot. And it all started with a couple chances. I mean, he took a chance on me as a player, and then again, he took a chance on me as a coach. And, that kick-started my coaching career. I'm not sure where I'm at today without those opportunities. And they say you never want to be the guy to follow the guy, but like I said earlier, I'm honored to follow in his footsteps. I'll always be chasing him as a coach, and I say that as the highest compliment.
Yeah. Well, you got baseball at the beach, which was always one of my favorite events of the year, cranking up St. Joseph's and then Kansas State and Washington, then Kansas State again. That'll be the 4 games you'll play in there. You've got College of Charleston coming up. Then you got Alabama and Ohio State and NC State coming in, and on it goes. Obviously a very difficult non-league schedule that you guys always choose to play. What will be your starting rotation for this weekend?
Yeah, we're fortunate. This is the first year in a long time that, it was a battle. We're pretty deep on the mound, and, we're going to start on Friday with Cullen McKay, who's a transfer from UVA. Cam Flukie, hard-throwing righty, is going to throw on Saturday. Riley Eichhoff will throw on Sunday, and then Jacob Morrison will throw on Monday. Jacob, unfortunately, had to sit out last year due to surgery, but he's back. He was our number 1 a couple years ago as a freshman. He's really moving in the right direction. All 4 of these guys are capable Friday night starters right now. Obviously, they haven't been faced with much adversity, but the way that they're throwing right now, we're really excited about all 4 of those guys and what they can do.
Last thing, in looking at your schedule, I don't know if anybody plays a tougher non-league schedule before they get to their respective league schedule than you guys will play. I mean, you've got East Carolina, tournament team. You got North Carolina, tournament team. You got Rutgers, don't know much about them. NC State, tournament team, Ohio State, Alabama, College of Charleston. I mentioned the 4 games you got coming up to open the weekend. Did you inherit this schedule? Is this a schedule you put together? Do you like being tested so often before you get to your league play?
Well, that's something we've always prided ourselves on. I mean, the last 3 years we've had one of the top, first or second hardest out-of-conference schedule in the entire country, and that's something that we want to make sure that we continue. But you're right. We got 6 ACC games, 5 Big Ten games, Big 12 game, an SEC game, 3 versus ECU, We play 4 games. We play 4 national seeds from last year, 20 games versus NCAA regional teams from last year. That's important for us. For us to legitimately compete to get back to Omaha, we feel like we need to put ourselves in position by playing one of the best schedules in the country.
Sure.
Coach, before I let you go, the key question is going to be, how are you going to manage the team in terms of your position on the field? Are you going to step right in there where Gilly used to and lean up against the top step in the dugout? Or are you going to be back out on the field coaching at third?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the plan is to be in the dugout. The plan is to be in the dugout. Our associate head coach, Chad Oxenine, will be over in the third base box, and Coach Schilling will stay over there in the first base box.
Well, that's good, because it wouldn't be Coastal baseball without a head coach leaning up against the top step.
Are you looking forward to your first real umpire argument, maybe getting your first ejection?
It's calm under pressure always, Cuppa. So I try to make sure I keep that in my hat and try to stay calm as much as possible. And the goal is not to get thrown out.
Not to get thrown out. Well, we wish you the best of luck. If you will allow us, we'll check in with you throughout the season, get updates from you. But best of luck, and we look forward to more greatness from Coastal Baseball.
Thanks, Coach.
Great. Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Thank you, Kevin. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Coach Kevin Schnall. They shouldn't really skip a beat, should they? Not taking anything away from Gilly, but Kevin was right there with him all those years, and this should just be a very smooth transition.
It's basically like handing off, the North Carolina job to either Bill Guthridge or Roy Williams. I mean, it's guys who know that program. Kevin Schnall recruited all these guys. I mean, you could hear how he basically just laid out the plan with all the guys he has on the pitching staff and also with Caden Bodine. And if Bodine hits the way they want him to, he'll be a first-round draft pick. I mean, he's remarkably talented at catcher. I'm kind of surprised, and it was nice that Coastal actually kept one of their catchers, because the last couple of years they've always lost a guy to Florida. Kevin O'Sullivan has figured out a way to come up to Conway and steal a catcher and plug him in. But you talked about their schedule, Phil, and that Jacksonville tournament that they're going to be playing in with Alabama and Ohio State and NC State. That'll be a terrific challenge. And then the series that I think is really cool, the non-conference series they've got in Greenville against East Carolina. You've been there. You've seen baseball at ECU. You know how much those people love baseball, and that place is like a football atmosphere for baseball. I remember going up there a couple of years ago for the regional with Coastal, and it's a really cool setting for baseball up there. That ought to be a terrific series that second weekend in March.
Have an area in the outfield they call the jungle. And speaking of that, I saw where Eric Bakich said today he would like to see Clemson develop an area in the outfield outside of DKS, sort of like the Battery in Atlanta. I mean, he wants, like a shopping district or dining district or something out there. He wants, he said he wants it to be as active outside the ballpark as it is in the ballpark. So he's got big ideas. He's got big
Just
ideas
don't forget my
for Clemson
T-shirt,
baseball.
Coach. Club DKS, don't forget that.
That's right. You get royalties.
You start making all those millions off of that place.
Auburn.
You remember who gave you the idea.
Auburn leading Vandy 25-13. Florida 17. Mississippi State 15. Kentucky 14. Tennessee 11. Miami 18. Syracuse 12. That's where we are so far, and we'll be back.
Relax. Start your journey with a new auto loan. Get ready for a season of adventure. Escape the ordinary and get on the road with an auto loan from Founders Federal Credit Union. From city streets to off-road trails, your journey begins here. Our low fixed rates can get you on the road in a ride that fits your lifestyle and your budget. Featuring no payments for up to 90 days. Simply apply early for a pre-approved spending limit before you even start shopping. Let a Founders representative be your trusted advisor to make sure your purchase makes sense for you and your finances. Ask for a free auto insurance quote for a personalized plan to protect your purchase. Founders also offers mechanical breakdown protection that is competitive with most warranty plans available at dealerships. Visit one of our many convenient office locations or go to foundersfcu.com/auto to apply for an auto loan today or to see if you qualify for membership with Founders. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm attorney Jim Corbett. That's the sound of a big hit on you and your car or truck. I've been an attorney for more than 30 years, helping people who get injured in car wrecks and truck wrecks. If you have serious injuries, call Jim Corbett, 803-765-2968, or email me at jim@jimcorbettattorney.com. That's CORBETT. I don't get paid unless I recover for you. Jim Corbett Attorney, for your best recovery from a big hit, 803-765-2968, or jim@jimcorbettattorney.com.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hosseller-Brown. Did you know Lawyer Lisa offers a prevention plan add-on to our services? If you already have a trust or just need some updates, ask about getting your ducks in a row and getting all of your wishes set out before it's needed. Visit lawyerlisa.com for more information.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
You've put in the work for your education. The extra early, extra late, extra work. That's because you understand education opens doors to better pay, better opportunities, and a better you. Being educated about playing the lottery is no different. It helps you be a better player, one who knows when to play and when to take a rain check. The lottery's a game, so let's keep it fun. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
If you're looking to grow your business, Sports Talk is here to help. I'm Matt Smith, and in addition to reporting for Sports Talk, I'm in charge of helping business owners make the most of our statewide platforms. Whether you're a small business owner or part of a large company operating here in the Palmetto State, we'd love to hear about your business. Sports Talk has a track record of delivering results to our partners, and it's probably more affordable than you think. Our network of affiliates shows us the flexibility to work with budgets of all sizes, and our statewide coverage means that whether you're in Greenville, Orangeburg, Chesterfield, Charleston, Woodruff, or somewhere in between, your future customers are listening to Sports Talk. Every business has a story, and we want to hear yours. It's our mission to serve this state, and that means finding success together. Please email us at sportstalkmedianetwork@gmail.com or contact us through our website, sportstalksc.com.
I got recruiting coming up for you. Just a second, football season is finally over, but there are still plenty of ways to play and win at Underdog Fantasy. Indeed, dropping the green flag at Daytona this weekend, you can place an entry on your favorite drivers like Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, or Chase Elliott. And don't forget, World Center of Racing has seen its share of long shots win in the past. You can also play fantasy with college basketball, the NBA, and the PGA Tour. Visit UnderdogFantasy.com and register with the promo code SportsTalkBonus. That's the promo code SportsTalkBonus to claim your free pick and your first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Must be 18 or over, 19 or over in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 or over in Colorado for some games, 21 or over in Massachusetts and Arizona. And present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates, terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
The Sports Talk Recruiting Report is sponsored by Seawell's Catering.
Well, it's no fantasy. You're not an underdog, and there's no gamble when you go to Seawell's for the daily luncheon buffet. Everything is 100% guaranteed. Got a great menu this week, but no Thursday menu because they have a special event. They're closed. But the rest of the week, check them out. And for the very best in the catering business, give Seawell's a phone call at 803-771-7385, online at SeawellsCateringSC.com. Checking in on Clemson target. Defensive end Jamarian Matthews, 6'3", 240, Harvest, Alabama. And Clemson defensive ends coach Chris Rumpf identified him as someone he wants. He had about 20 sacks this past season. He earned all conference honors. Clemson offered in November. He said he was very excited to get the offer. It was one he was waiting on since he visited Clemson for a game back in September. He really likes the way the Tigers operate as an organization, the way the players communicate, the way the coaches communicate with their players. He told him, he said Chris Rumpf told him that he thinks that he would be a great fit on the team. They like his speed, his agility, and the way that he uses his size and his aggressiveness. Rumpf and Clemson head coach Dabo Swinney made a school visit on January 16th. Alabama, Florida State, LSU, Vanderbilt, Florida, and Arkansas also in January. And he's seen his recruiting take off with new offers from Nebraska, Florida State, LSU, Georgia Tech, and Vanderbilt. But he does have Clemson towards the top of his list right now, along with Ole Miss, Alabama, Florida, and Penn State. Be right back.
On Point Weather is made possible by our friends at Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Chilly and wet this evening with on and off showers and a low temperature tipping down to 40. Tomorrow the showers continue. Scattered rain, a high of 50 degrees. Warmer for Thursday, but still wet early on. Thunderstorms in the morning. The high does climb to 68 degrees. And Friday looking much nicer. Sunshine, the high near 60. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
Dave Ramsey here. Do you want your money to work for you rather than you working for your money? Go see my friends at Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union. They're not a mega bank and have been serving the Midlands since 1936, offering good old-fashioned customer service and free services. They'll look out for your financial well-being. With 14 locations, check them out today at palmettocitizens.org. Federally insured by the NCUA.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters reporting a federal appeals court has refused to immediately halt a judge's order requiring the Trump administration to release billions of dollars in federal grants and loans. The money remains frozen even after a court blocked a sweeping pause on federal funding. The Boston-based First U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals on Tuesday turned back the emergency appeal, though it said it expected the lower court judge to act quickly to clarify his order. California's plan that provides insurance to homeowners who can't get private coverage needs $1 billion more to pay out claims related to the Los Angeles wildfires. That's according to the state insurance department on Tuesday. The FAIR Plan is an insurance pool that all the major private insurers pay into. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 123 points. More details at srnnews.com.
People hear me talking about Broker Solar and how much I like Ken and his team. They ask, hey, can I really trust this guy, Kev? Let me tell you two things. Number one, Ken and Broker Solar are legit. I've known Ken's family for 20 plus years. Seriously, these are local, ethical people. They're not going anywhere and they do things the right way. Number two, Broker Solar is so different than these stereotypes we've heard about in the solar industry. There's no signs on the yard making stupid promises they can't keep. There's no door knockers trying to pressure you at your own door. Ken and Broker Solar will tell you the truth, what it'll cost, and how your solar power investment will pay off. See, we can't pick our power companies. Broker Solar gives you a chance to take some control over your power bill, and I like that, and so should you. Online, it's brokersolar.com, and seriously, reach out to Ken and these folks. It could really make a difference in your quality of life. Brokersolar.com, empowering you so you're not powerless.
Are you looking for a luxurious way to pamper yourself? Look no further than Sunrise Artisan Bath & Body. Our plant-based soaps and lotions are designed to provide you with the ultimate experience. Our products are natural and nourishing, leaving you feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. So go ahead, treat yourself with Sunrise Artisan, which is more than a bath, it's an experience. Sunrise Artisan, located at 710 Saluda Avenue in 5 Points, or online at sunrisebath.com. Sunrise Artisan.
Do you crave growth for your business? That's where The Point comes in. Fran Halloran here. Kevin Cohen and the other local hosts like me have worked to create a space where listeners transform into family. Are you a local business aiming for the stars? You need to get with Kevin and let him help create an individualized blueprint for your growth using the influential stage of The Point Radio. Reach out directly at 563-8558. Teaming with The Point, make this year extraordinary.
Is your home freezing in the winter and too hot in the summer? Stop throwing money out the window. At Koala Insulation of the Midlands, we make your home more comfortable and energy efficient with high-quality insulation at an affordable price. Save on energy bills and keep your family comfortable all year round. Call Koala Insulation of the Midlands today for a free, no-obligation evaluation online at koalainsulation.com or call 803-728-6082. Koala Insulation of the Midlands, your local insulation experts.
Hey, it's Jay with the Cigar Militia, your premium cigar retailer in South Carolina. We're constantly restocking our favorite brands and always getting new things in for you to try. If you're new in town, we pride ourselves on being the friendliest hangout in town. Come on in and check us out. You're still at 1410 Colonial Life Boulevard in the same plaza as the Melting Pot. And if you're new at cigar smoking, one of our friendly staff members can walk you through the humidor and find something you'll like. So stop by Colonial Village in Columbia.
All right, we go from the Super Bowl to the Super Bowl of racing, the Daytona 500. It's here, it's back in all its glory, and we welcome in the president of Darlington, our favorite track, Josh Harris, to Sports Talk. Okay, I know we had the appetizer over in Winston-Salem a couple of weekends ago, but now it's time for the main course. You ready to rock and roll?
We're ready to go. It's Speed Weeks here. Cars are going to be on track in Daytona tomorrow with practice, and then Daytona 500 qualifying tomorrow night, and then it'll be first of 5 days in a row with all three National Series. So it's exciting time, and I'll be heading down there for a few days, and can't wait to get down there and see all the action.
I bet. What is it? What is it like during this week around that area? You know, you got the airport right next to the track, so people are coming and going, and you got I-95 buzzing right by there, and people on motorcycles and all kind of different types of vehicles. And I mean, what is that feeling like around Daytona this time of the year?
Yeah, it's just, you know, it's an exciting feeling. You can feel just a little bit of a different energy in the air just around town. You can tell more people have come to Daytona Beach and the surrounding communities. The restaurants are a little more full, and there's certainly a buzz around the track itself with all the campers that are there. You've got the midway out front that runs right along International Speedway Boulevard that's completely full. So it just it's a little bit of that anticipation that builds throughout the week, and then the closer and closer you get to Sunday, it really you just kind of feel that it's got that big event feel to it.
Do you get much beach time?
I will not get much beach time. My parents still live in the area, so I'm going to stay with them. They're a little off the beach, and probably have to take an opportunity to get down there to the beach on the next trip.
Yeah. So what are you expecting when they hit the track tomorrow morning? First practice at, I think, 10:05. What kind of speeds are you expecting? What are you expecting from the cars? Any significant technical, mechanical body changes that people need to be aware of going into this season?
Yeah, I don't think we've got a lot of package changes or anything on the Cup side from what they ran at Talladega last fall. So I think it'll be pretty similar. You know, this will be the first time in a couple of years that the Cup Series has actually had an hour of practice prior to the single car qualifying tomorrow night. So I'm curious to see how that unfolds tomorrow. They hit the track at 10 a.m. And really a couple of things that come to mind for me are, you know, does a team like Hendrick, who sat on the pole in the front row for so many consecutive Daytona 500s up until last year. Do they come down to Daytona trying to hunt for the pole again, or are they more focused on setting up their car for race maneuverability? I think that's what a lot of teams have to decide with the Daytona 500 is, do they want to set their car up for pure speed, which may take a little bit of handling out of the car, or do they want to go after that front row? So that'll be what I'm interested in. The Fords were really strong on the super speedways last year, especially a guy like Michael McDowell. So curious just to see who's going after the pole and who may be taking a little different approach to set their car up, maybe in anticipation to handle better in the draft in the race.
Phil, we've got to get you down to Daytona. The only way I can describe it, just go stand out in front of 501 at 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon during the beach season. And that sort of describes the International Boulevard right between all the shops and the track itself.
Yeah.
Josh Harris with us from Darlington Raceway. And, Josh, there's so many storylines going into this weekend. I wanted to start with a couple, though. Jimmy Johnson, Martin Truex Jr. both trying to race their way into the Daytona 500. Would that be a good thing for the sport to see guys that aren't now necessarily running full-time be able to step into a car and qualify and run in the sport's biggest events, or is it better off that maybe they don't qualify?
No, I mean, I think we want to see those guys qualify, and the intriguing thing is you got 36 guaranteed spots with the charter teams, then there's 4 open spots, and there's a total of 45 cars right now entered to try to make the race. So 5 cars, potentially 4, we can touch on that in a minute, are going to go home. I think that's going to make tomorrow's qualifying and Thursday evening's dual races so much more compelling, because you got to have a guy like Jimmy Johnson, Martin Truex, Helio Castroneves, who's running. Want to see what they can do with speed to get in. And but it is the Daytona 500, and in my opinion, you want the biggest names and the biggest stars in that race, but they're going to have to earn it.
And the other interesting storyline, I think, is coming out of Joe Gibbs Racing with the shakeup they had, and Chris Gabehart now moving up and will actually not be the crew chief for Denny Hamlin. How do you think that's going to affect that team, Joe Gibbs Racing as a whole, but maybe in more particular, Denny Hamlin and his skills with a new guy on the pit box?
Well, I think, first of all, if you look at Chris Gabehart, he certainly has earned the opportunity to take an elevated role there, and his success with Denny over the past couple of years has, he's earned that opportunity. I think he will have a positive impact on their team. For a guy like Denny with his new crew chief, I think it's Chris Gale, certainly probably take a few races just to, get some communication things down that, are unique to each of those. But a veteran like Denny, I think switching his crew chief, it's one of those that's probably a little less impactful in a negative way initially, so long as those guys can communicate. But I think a lot of people will be paying attention just to see, with everything Denny's got going on and with 2311 and being team owner, and then also trying to win another Daytona 500, can he and this new crew chief get off to a hot start in Daytona?
Well, now that Daytona is here, we're getting underway. We're going to be into March here pretty quickly, and then we roll into April, and we roll into Darlington pretty soon as well. So it's time to shake that tree and get those tickets purchased and get all those packages put together to go see the Hall of Fame, walk around on pit road, get into the garage area, all the different things that fans can do. What things are you guys offering up now for the big weekend, throwback weekend, for Darlington? This is, I think, the official 75th anniversary of the track now. You got a lot going on.
That's right. It's going to be a big weekend, throwback weekend, April 5th and 6th this year, moving a little bit earlier in the calendar, earlier in the spring, off of Mother's Day weekend. So we're excited. Tickets are moving well. Got plenty of ticket packages out there at darlingtonraceway.com. But the weekend itself is, really a celebration of our history, not only as a sport, but also Darlington's 75 years of history. Working right now on various members of NASCAR Alumni's program. Come back and be there, have some fan-facing engagement opportunities. We'll do our throwback weekend parade from downtown Darlington on Saturday, as has become customary. around that weekend. And still some things that we're working on with the NASCAR Hall of Fame in Charlotte that we hope to announce here in the next couple of weeks. So a lot of cool things as we celebrate. But man, it's 52, 53 days away from the Goodyear 400, and that countdown just gets a little bit closer every day, and it ratchets up that excitement for our team as well as we get ready for Darlington in the spring.
So looking forward to it. It's going to be here before we know it. Look forward to counting it down week by week with you and recapping this races as we get it started this weekend at Daytona. We thank you as always. Have a great trip down south, and we'll talk to you next week.
Appreciate it, Josh.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Watch your speed. Watch your speed on I-95.
We'll be careful.
Yes, sir.
I think we'll have to ask Josh next time we get him on the show. But if we really want to throw back, we really want to celebrate the 75 years of racing at Darlington, they need to go back September 4th, 1950. There were 75 cars at the track. Let's put 75 cars back out there for the Southern 500 this year.
Well, that'd be great. You just don't have that many.
Would it be awesome?
You don't have that many teams, though, anymore. I can remember the days of 45 and 50 some odd teams trying to qualify. You actually had people going home unhappy because they couldn't make the race. Not so much today. Be right back.
I'm State Treasurer Curtis Loftus. Whether it's becoming a teacher, dentist, or engineer, every child deserves the chance to chase their dreams. Investing in a child's education with Future Scholar, South Carolina's 529 College Savings Plan, can help turn those big dreams into next steps. So don't wait. You can start with any amount. Contributions are tax deductible and earnings grow tax-free. Discover the smart, easy way to save for college at futurescholar.com.
There's a lot of things we take for granted in our lives. Your home's AC will run cool. Your drive-through coffee will be hot. And the car will start when it's time to take your kids to school. It's when things don't go as planned that you start thinking about who to call and where to turn. The good thing is, you can prepare for life's most difficult days by calling the Larry Lucas Agency today. Larry is a State Farm agent that has been taking care of people across South Carolina for more than 2 decades. You probably have insurance, but switching is easy, and bundling can save you hundreds or more. Most importantly, the Larry Lucas Agency can help you choose the protection you want at the price you want. All backed by South Carolina's #1 home and auto insurance company. Visit LarryLucasAgency.com today or give Larry a call at 803-799-1998. Like a good neighbor, Larry Lucas State Farm is there.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hosteller-Brown. Did you know your will is designed for your assets to pass through the probate court? If you want to keep your loved ones out of court, a revocable trust is a great place to start. Visit lawyerlisa.com for more information and to see how we can help.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
One lottery ticket makes a big difference for our state students. And when I say big, I mean bigger than jackpot big. Since 2002, South Carolina students have benefited from more than $6 billion in lottery-funded scholarships and grants, including the Life, Hope, and Palmetto Fellow Scholarships. With every lottery play, you're supporting our students, and that adds up in a big way. That's why education is our middle name. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
George Bryant here for Tsunami Bar Sports, and some say the fun is in the winning. I say the fun is in the training. And Tsunami Robbie, what do you say?
George, we all know you get more done when you're having fun. This technology is different, it's engaging, but it's also a lot of fun to use.
Hi, this is Phil Kornblut. Be sure to click on the digital ad on SportsTalkSC.com and get 5% off any Tsunami Bar order using promo code BBB5. Don't wait, order today. All right, last night at Little John, Clemson completed for them incredible sweeps. They beat Tobacco Road 4-0 in the same season. Never happened before. They beat 3 Blue Bloods in the same season at Little John Coliseum. Never happened before. They won now 20 games for the 3rd consecutive season. All these great things happening for Brad Brownell. Here he is after last night's win.
Obviously, a great win for us. Proud of the way our guys have bounced back this last 2 games. We played very well. Obviously, a little different tonight. We made a bunch of threes, and that's why we have a chance to have a good team. Is we can beat you in different ways. I thought defensively we were solid, got better in the middle stretch of the game, and when you shoot the ball like we did, it can be hard for the opponent. So really just happy the way our guys adjusted. 2 different types of teams, Duke bigger, and obviously North Carolina great speed. So this was obviously a great 48 hours for us.
Yeah, Brad, how concerned were you that it was just 48 hours ago and you have this big win that everybody's crazy about? All of a sudden you got to get back on the court against another team.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it helped that it was North Carolina. We certainly have a lot of respect for them, and we know how hard it is they are to play against. But yeah, it was different and quick, and we were very businesslike in our approach the last 2 days. I mean, we spent a lot of time with our guys to try to get this right, and our guys responded very well. So I'm proud of them for that.
Chase and Jaden combining for 35 tonight. How do you feel like they continue to grow as a duo in this backcourt?
Yeah, I think guys do a good job for the most part of just seeing what the game presents for us. And not forcing things. Obviously, Chase is going to be a little more aggressive. We want him to be. Jaden especially probably does a really good job of that. When there's games that there's opportunities for him or places to drive or shots to take, he'll take them, but he's not hunting shots. And that's good. You don't want your whole team hunting shots. And so I think he does a really good job of that. Obviously, they like playing together. I think you can see that. And they've just grown as the years gone by. They've really grown together and understand how each other play.
What did you see from Victor in the first half? He said that he's trying to convince you to let him shoot some more threes, and maybe that he did that in this game with the way he shot the 3 in the first half.
Yeah. I mean, we're not like anti-3 for Victor, obviously, but we want it to be within reason. Obviously, he was hot tonight, so it's like, hey, keep shooting them. He's making them. The funny thing is he got very emotional during the game. He's already pretty emotional, but like one of the timeouts we had to calm him down. He had all kinds of thoughts and ideas for us. So,
Brad, what does it mean for you? You've been here a long time to beat Duke in North Carolina and go 4-0 to back the road this year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it means we have a good team because you don't do it unless you do. And so happy for our players and fans. We've been a pretty good program in the league the last 7 or 8 years. I mean, really good in a lot of ways. I mean, 3rd in wins now. I think we're up to 3rd or 4th. 4th probably. So I think we've been very consistent, but they're hard programs to beat and certainly hard to beat twice in a year. So yeah, I'm just happy for our fan base and proud of our team.
You opted to go with Dylan Hunter in for Chauncey Williams for another game, I guess. What kind of makes that lineup effective for you guys for them to be able to?
Well, in this game with their speed, I think that was not a hard decision, and Dylan's been playing well. And Chauncey did a nice job coming off the bench. I mean, he had 9 points and 5 rebounds, so that was good for us. But, with their speed and whether they were going to play 3 guards or 4 perimeter players, we would have played a lot of minutes with 3 guards out there, and we do most games anyway. So I don't think it was a hard decision. Obviously, today it looked like the right one.
Coach Tim Ray told me that the 1990 Clemson team also beat Duke and North Carolina back-to-back. You're right there with a chance to do what that team did. How cool was it to have them here and have your guys?
Yeah, it was fun. I didn't get to spend a lot of time with them. Obviously, I've been, preparing for 2 days, and our staff has. And I mean, we've been working. So I didn't even know they were coming until right before the game. Nobody had even told me. So it was kind of, but it was neat. It was neat to kind of go by him at halftime, and Coach Ellis was in the back and gave me a little fist bump, and so I still talk to Coach, a couple times a year for sure, and so it was fun to have those guys here.
All right, Brad Brownell. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, when things are going well, you're winning games, people throw all kind of praise at you, Chris. But, I mean, in all seriousness, he might be the most underappreciated coach in college basketball at this level.
He's certainly in the mix.
I mean, he's had one losing season at Clemson. Now we're talking Clemson. They had one losing season. That was back in 2013. And
I think until lately, Phil, he's underappreciated at his own school. I mean, I think Clemson fans are finally coming around to the fact this is a really good basketball coach we have. And how they didn't let the team know that the 1990 squad was coming back for a visit until right before tip-off. Somebody dropped the ball there.
Well, maybe they just wanted to focus on the team to focus on North Carolina. I didn't know that.
You would think you'd let the head coach know.
I didn't know. I'm not even sure it was in the game notes. It might have been. I have to go back here and look in the game notes. I didn't realize they were there until they popped out on the court at halftime, and they did a nice job of introducing everybody who was there, and most of the team was there. The two assistants, Lynn Gordy and Coach Harris, and of course head coach Cliff Ellis, who's now 79, and still looks like he's in his 60s, still spry as he can be, and. So, yeah, they had a good turnout for that, introduced each player individually, let them hear from the crowd, had the trophy, had the 1990 ACC. Here's an interesting story that Pete Yannity shared with me. That trophy, 1990 trophy, there's been only two, see if I get this right, only two trophies handed out in ACC basketball history that were not ACC tournament championship trophies. So, from what I was told, Dean Smith, they didn't have a regular season championship trophy, and until the late 1980s, like late 1980s, like maybe 89 or so. Dean Smith goes to the ACC and says we should have a championship trophy for the regular season, and so it turned out to be the 89-90 season. Was the first year they had that, and Clemson won it, and they get the trophy. But then, apparently, after that, they decided not to do it again. So nobody else, either prior to or afterwards, has gotten a regular season trophy. But then you go to the COVID year of the ACC basketball tournament, and remember that Clemson and Florida State were about to play on a Thursday afternoon in Greensboro. That was and Florida State was the regular season champion, right. And Clemson was so they were going to play the one versus whatever. They're getting ready to play, and they called off the game. They called off the tournament with both teams standing on the court. Remember that? And they just gave Florida State the trophy.
Yeah.
So I think the point was those are the two trophies that what was the correct explanation on that? Two trophies that were never handed out again or before or something like that. That was one of them, the 1990 championship trophy.
To the two football schools in the Atlantic Coast Conference. I was joking and laughing while you were telling that story about Dean Smith asking for a regular season championship. It was almost as if, well, if Clemson's going to win it, it's not worth doing a trophy, so let's just get rid of it.
Maybe so. Maybe so. But the point in all this is just how solid a program and consistent a program
agreed.
Brad Brownell has built over the years in the shadow of a overwhelmingly strong football program. But I will say that, under Dan Radakovich and now under Graham Neff, I mean, they're doing things. They're doing more renovations to Little John Coliseum and the basketball facility to continue to try to improve the experience.
I think one thing that helps too, Phil, is Brad Brownell's got an ally in Dabo Swinney. I mean, Dabo he's a big basketball fan, and he was at the game last night. I thought they showed him going over and taking pictures with the 1990 team.
Yeah, I saw him over there because I went over to speak to Cliff after the game, and he was down there. So, hey, Clemson's got it going right now. He's doing a good job recruiting select high school players and getting the right pieces out of the his transfer pickups have been very good. They've been very good to this point. All right, Auburn and Vanderbilt halftime. Auburn 34-32 Halftime, Mississippi State stomping the living daylights out of Florida, 34-33. I mean, it's not even
That's for
close.
Josh's benefit.
Kentucky, 35, Tennessee, 26. Miami is beating Syracuse, 43-37. Still to come, Alabama at Texas, Georgia at Texas A&M, Pittsburgh at SMU. All right, tomorrow night, we didn't get to Coach Bakich. We'll get that tomorrow night. It's still good. Also tomorrow night, Chad Holbrook from the College of Charleston. No SC Wild tomorrow night as Major Downer has a legislative dinner to go to, so he'll be tied up with that. So no
Mr.
SC
Fancy.
Wild tomorrow night. Yes, highfalutin. And we'll drop in one or two other good pieces for you. Paul Maneri on Thursday, as we'll hear from the Gamecock coach at a press conference on Thursday. Until then, thank you, Chris and Josh.
Yes,
Have a
sir.
great night, everybody.